Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. What if I told you the only thing standing between you and your next big opportunity is your voice? This isn't just another program. Empower Your Message is your ticket to becoming the podcast guest everyone wants. You'll learn how to craft a pitch that gets a hell yes, show up with unshakable confidence, and drop truth bombs that leave hosts and audiences wanting more. No more playing small. No more waiting for permission. It's your time to be heard. Loud, clear, and unforgettable. Visit the link in the show notes to sign up, and let's make your voice impossible to ignore. The mic is waiting. Are you ready? Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Linda Loveless. She is a certified global Napoleon Hill Institute coach. She's also going to be co-leading the Think and Grow Rich Women's Collective for the Napoleon Hill Institute. She is the creator of the signature program, Ageless Beauty, in Mind, Body, and Spirit, which is a transformational experience helping women who are 50 plus become her again and reclaim their crown and rediscover the woman they were always meant to be. She is also, I have one last thing to add here, she's on a mission to help 1 million women become millionaires. Welcome, Linda. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I am thrilled to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me, Brad.
I am so excited to have you here and to jump in and to share about all of the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do. Thanking you so much for taking the time to be here with me today and share a little bit about your story and your journey. You are a beautifully inspiring soul. And so with that being said, let us jump right in. So that is one hell of a resume and some very important work and missions you've laid out for yourself. So with all of that being said, I want to start by asking, was there or what was the defining moment or catalyst moment in your life when you realized that you had to reclaim your own crown? And what did that moment teach you about power, beauty, and womanhood?
Oh my goodness, that's a loaded question because there were many inflection moments over my lifetime that were little awakenings, but the big awakening happened during the pandemic, during COVID, when I truly was so sick, literally in bed, not thinking I'm going to make it after losing my mom and my sister recently. So I didn't understand grief. And on top of the grief was me being ill and the fear around that spiraled me, and a lot of things coming up that were triggers that I didn't recognize, that were not healed as a child, that I've learned and grown so much through with. And what led me to the Napoleon Hill Institute was asking lots of questions about myself and knowing that wasn't my story. Waking up, actually getting out of bed for the first time and looking in the mirror and seeing my mom just before she passed in myself and not thinking, but saying out loud, this is not my story. And so during that, not feeling safe, I think was the big thing. And then asking lots of questions and guidance and prayer, all of those things, finding tools to help me with the anxiety and all the things that were going on during that time. And I've heard so many other stories of other women going through the same things. And it was a behind quiet doors. People weren't talking about it, some of the things that they were experiencing. So I call it a holy discontent, something that is just inside me that I know that there's something more. And how do I get from where I am to where I want to be? So during that whole process, I feel like there was a death to my old self and a rebirth that happened. And so learning about this new person, this her, who is she? So that's been the incredible journey that I get to be on right now.
I hear so many stories of women who are feeling out of alignment. They don't feel like they're in their purpose, and they're not where they think they should be or where they want to be for that matter, but they stay stuck. And that's not just women, but because I speak to so many women, men go through this too. I know I went through it. Feel a feeling of just not, I'm not where I should be. I'm not where I want to be. This doesn't make me happy. This doesn't set my soul on fire. But there's so much conditioning around, well, you have to stay in this or whatever, stay in this job or stay in this business or whatever it is, because this is what's paying the bills. This is what's helping you. This is, we're meant to do this. This is the path for you. So many people don't know that there's other options out there for them. Therefore, they're scared to jump, or they don't even know it's possible to jump and jump into something else. So they continue living out of alignment.
Yes, so many are in that space, and it's based on fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
It is scary, but again, what is the belief system? What is triggering that is ingrained that is not even ours?
Yeah. That's it. A lot of the time, it's not even our thought process or our fears. It's been put on to us by others around us.
Yes. And I think the pandemic really, that was the awakening that happened for so many people, is
Yeah.
realizing that we allowed the control or to be dictated, be told who we are, and that's not
Yeah.
who we are. So there's a rising. And why I've been quiet for so long, my nature is to be quiet. But again, it became such a habit that I thought I was broken. There must be something wrong with me. I don't fit in. Where is my room?
Yeah.
My people. And so the pandemic, we all disappeared. A lot of us disappeared. And it's been a journey to come out of the cocoon,
Yeah.
the birthing of the butterfly emerging out of that cocoon. And that's what my passion is, to help so many other women that are in that and feel invisible and in that quiet power of feeling like they just need a little guidance. And it's really about remembering who they are, because nothing's been taken away. It's always been there.
Yeah.
It's uncovering it. But how do we do that? How do we look at ourselves and learn to love ourselves enough to understand who we truly are and step into her?
Uncovering and remembering that. If one thing the pandemic taught us is that things do not have to be done the way we have been brought up to believe or conditioned to believe that they have to be done, is that just cracked everything wide open, as they call it, what do they call it? The Great Reset, or the Great Awakening, or whatever you want to call it, whatever phrase you want to use. You're right. There are a hell of a lot of people waking up. And I think now there is a huge vibrational shift in the world.
Yes.
And it's amazing to witness and to see. I think this is probably one of the greatest times ever to be alive, to see everything that's going on. Not all of it is good, and that's okay. Not everything is going to be puppy dogs, rainbows, and ice cream. There are going to be struggles, but what's on the other side of those struggles is something beautiful and amazing.
And learning what our responsibility in it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we're all part of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I've really learned to understand is we're collectively, all of us together, can change the world.
Yes, absolutely.
But we have to have the right mindset. We have to have the right. So looking back at the pandemic and understanding the gift that it truly was a gift, because it was a shake up to wake up.
Yeah.
And so everything that happens, again, the messaging that we have been conditioned is things are happening to us.
Yes.
When we really need to understand they're happening for us, and what is the gift in it? And I just had this conversation with my daughter-in-law, who just is she was vice president of a pretty big association here in Kansas City, and felt like she was dismissed And it was a conversation. Again, it's how the hurts, carrying that weight that's not even ours. And so I kept asking her the question, can you see the gift in it? It's too raw probably right now, but what's the gift in it? And I remember sharing a story of my husband and I living in California, and he was the associate pastor of the church, and we lived in the parsonage, and it's a glass house when you live in the parsonage. And that's how I grew up. My dad was a pastor for 36 years. And interestingly, I found myself repeating their story as we do. And that was a wake up inflection moment there that basically this isn't it. And we made a decision to pack up our whole lives and move that weekend from
Wow.
California to Kansas. And I said, it was not easy. Nobody came to help us move. It was a very hard situation, a feeling like an attacking situation personally. So we took it personally, and the scars were deep, especially for my husband. But again, hindsight, looking back, I shared with her, you would not be married to our son if we did not make that move. Ripple effect of things that sometimes our path is auto-corrected for us. And that's the gift in it if we're not on the right path. So it completely changed our life. Big God nudge.
Yeah.
And it was not easy for years and years. It was not easy. But we kept on going and being grateful for what we did have. And then we are where we are today because of it. But so many quit. So many quit before payday.
Yeah.
And they're 3 feet from gold. It's just right there.
Yep. It reminds me of a meme. I just saw the meme this morning, actually. I hadn't seen it in a while. There's 2 guys with pickaxes in a mine. And one guy, the guy on the bottom he's like this close to breaking through the wall, and there's diamonds on the other side. The other guy on top the guy on the bottom, he walks away. He's turned and walking the other way. The other guy on top is getting there, and he's not giving up. So it's basically, you never know just how close you are. So keep going. Don't give up. And sometimes in the situation or whatever it is we're going through, what seems like it is the worst possible thing that could be happening to us, for us, however you want to view it, ends up being the absolute best thing, because there's something on the other side of that. You have been, as you said, to use your words, course corrected for a reason.
Yes.
That was not meant for you.
Yes.
And this is what's being put in front of you to send you on the right path. So I love what you said about COVID too, because I've said that from when we started going through it, that this is a huge gift, albeit there was a ton of loss, personal loss, financial, all of it. And not to take anything away from that, it was horrible for the people who went through and suffered through loss because of that. But it was one of the biggest gifts we could have ever got in humanity, I think, because it reset everything for us. And it gave us an opportunity to view things differently.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of loss. But again, in the loss, what are we gaining?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's what I've come to realize, it's bigger than us. There is a higher power that is absolutely orchestrating, and it's learning to trust. And I know that's a big thing that I've been going through the journey of learning to trust and to trust myself. That's the big
thing. For sure. So how have these experiences then helped shape the Linda you are today, both personally and professionally?
Seeing myself through a different lens, for sure, and really learning to love myself, because I'm a people pleaser. And so I'm so good at taking care of everyone else. And we've got to put that oxygen mask on ourselves, or we're no good to anyone if we can't function. Yeah. And I think I really recognized that when I saw my sister struggling to breathe and wanted to breathe for her. And every time I find myself in a place where my breath is shallow, I'm thinking,
Mhm.
take a deep breath. Be grateful for the breath that we have, the
Mhm.
oxygen that we have, all of that. And a different perspective. Linda today sees things differently, recognizes who she is more clearly. I feel like I'm all over the place here, but
No, it's okay.
so many stories
Yeah.
popping in. But one of the things that I did after the Mrs. Kansas pageant, when I came home and realized nobody was training these girls,
Mhm.
and found that when I worked with them on what was going on in here, because I
Mhm.
asked the question, what's going to set you apart from all the beautiful women on that stage is what's happening inside here. Who is she? And if you can see yourself through somebody else's eyes, so as they're walking on the stage and walking toward the mirror that they're practicing, see the judges looking back at you. Be one of those judges. Who do you see looking at you? Who is
Mhm.
she? And all of a sudden, you can see the whole countenance change. You could see them step in and own their posture changed. They walked across that stage, changed, and they got it. And
Mhm.
once they got it, it was it stayed. It was there because they saw themselves differently. So our perception of ourselves is so different than how others perceive us. And that's what I'm recognizing in myself is how people see me and how I've been seeing myself is a huge disconnect.
Yeah. We are the hardest on ourselves.
We are.
Nobody else in the world is harder on ourselves than we are. We are our own biggest hurdles and our own biggest obstacles.
Yes. So the work in the Napoleon Hill Institute, especially for women, and I think
Mhm.
that's why we really wanted to focus on women collectively rising together, the messaging behind that is understanding that principle. Who are you at your highest and best version of yourself? And how is she showing up, not only in the future, but today, right here, right? And own that space. That's your superpower. But it's understanding what lights you up.
Yes.
When you go back to talking about the jobs that the statistics are very high of people who hate their jobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where they spend the majority of their lives is at
Mhm.
work and with the people that they're with there.
Yeah.
They hate their job. So what is that doing in our world? It's that energy alone.
Oh, for sure.
And so if people can recognize that, how can I find the joy in my job today? By how I'm choosing to show up different. Who is she? And what happens is instead of the drudgery of feeling like you have to go to work because you have to earn the money, is I choose to show up because I know there's more coming. And when you shift the energy, that's the true law of attraction. All of a sudden, you're attracting things into your life that are like, okay, miracles are
Yeah.
happening all around us, but we're not recognize it because there's such a heaviness that is connected to our belief system that's not even ours. It's that's part of the wake up that I
Yeah.
think so many people are ready to hear, or they're starting to hear those words and say, yes, that's me. So they're listening with their heart instead of their head. But we have to learn to drop out of our head and into our heart.
Yes.
How do we listen with our heart instead of our head? Because we've been so conditioned.
We have.
So it's a disruption and it doesn't feel good during the disruption. And that's where we need help and guidance to get through it, to put the tools in our tool belt so that we can pull them out when we need them.
Yep, for sure. So, what is it that drives, motivates, and inspires you to keep going and excelling at all that you do?
I know I'm not done yet. There's just I still have passion, this, and I'm not feeling fulfilled in what I know I'm here to do. I believe the remembering of who I am is so exciting. And one of the things that in my Ageless Beauty program, I talk about how do you embrace each decade of your life? And I remember entering my fabulous 50s, and I claimed that. I made the declaration, fabulously fit in my fabulous 50s. I just wrote that down and just embraced it. Who is she? How does that feel to put that on and wear it? What does fabulous mean to you? What's, and then entering the sexy 60s, I wrote on my mirror in lipstick, sexy 60 in 6 months. So I could see it every day, and it would remind me of, and I would ask myself the question every morning, is what I'm choosing to put in my mouth and move my body today, and the things that I'm thinking moving me closer to that or further away? And in 6 months, on my 60th birthday, I released 40 pounds.
Wow.
I felt incredible. I ran a half marathon in Maui. I was so proud of myself.
And so you should be.
And that's what Sexy 60 felt like and looked like. And so then now those decades go by so fast. I just entered my sensational sassy 70s.
I love that.
And so what does she look like? So that's what I'm embracing in this decade. So that's what keeps me going, is what I'm choosing to embrace. And that's a choice. Everybody has a choice, whether they're going to, how they're going to be. And society is telling us who we are at those ages. So again, we need to disrupt the norm, because that's not who we are. We're not done. I see people who retire, lose themselves, and die early.
Yeah.
I've seen it over and over again. So let's use the word rewire. I'm rewiring myself so that I can step into this new version of me, because I've earned it. But if we're so burned out and worn out by that time because of the choices that we're making, we're just done.
Yeah. Now, you shared this with me when we first connected about your decades. And one thing that you said that really stuck out for me and struck me is that people think that when you're in your 60s and 70s that, you're done, life's over. And you said to me, and I remember I'm just getting started. I'm nowhere near done. I'm just starting. And I absolutely love that, because you're right. So many people, they hit retirement and then it's like, they go downhill. They don't care anymore, and they don't have anything to strive for, or anything that inspires them, or anything to keep going. We work all our lives, and the goal is to retire for a lot of people. That's because of the conditioning, is that, when I hit 65, I can retire, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this. And then that time comes and they don't end up doing any of it. But my thought is, why in the fuck are you waiting till you retire to travel, or to do the things you want to do, or to start a business on the side? Why are you waiting? Do it now, because guess what? Nobody is promised tomorrow, first of all.
Yes.
And why can't you do it now? Who cares? Do it.
That's right. Yes, we've got to live. We've got to live, because we're dying.
Every day.
Every day. And they get to retirement, and there's a lot of disappointment, because it's not what they thought it would be. And then they spiral because they haven't changed the mindset or the belief system, because wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah.
What are you working on yourself to get better at, to find the joy? When we ask the question, what do you want? People don't know what they want.
No, they don't.
And so I started asking the question, what are you allowing? What are you willing to allow? Because it's what you're allowing people to give your power away every day to what? To your job, to everyone else. So how are you taking care of yourself? And going to the spa now and then is not about self-care. That's rescuing yourself a little bit. But what is daily self-care that is strengthening you to be her, to step into that highest version, highest and best? Who is she, and how are we contributing to the world in who she is, and bringing people alongside with us, instead of fighting, instead of division, instead of he said, she said.
Yeah.
It's got to change. It's got to change if we're going to be the change. And that's part of the movement that we are creating, is how are we speaking to ourselves first? And actually, can you look in the mirror and say, I love you? I love you.
And really mean it.
And really mean it. Because if you think about how much water we're made up of and how water receives good or bad, and they've done studies on this.
Yes, I've seen them.
And how powerful is that we are speaking to ourselves in such a way that's either glorifying and giving, or it's destructive. And so again, we have the choice, but we don't. Again, what are we conditioning? What are the self-discipline habits that we are changing through our self-talk?
Absolutely.
First thing, when you get up in the morning, ask, what are you saying to yourself? Even before you get out of bed, what is the self-talk? Because it's so conditioned, people aren't even aware of what they're saying to themselves. Or they'll look in the mirror and say, oh man.
Yeah.
And what does that do? It just confirms what your belief system is, and your body responds to it.
For sure.
So if you're going to embrace your sexy 60s, sassy 70s, elegant 80s, and naughty 90s,
I love it, Linda.
then you're going to have a shift in mindset.
Yeah.
Otherwise, sad.
It is, for sure. So what does it truly mean to you when you say you're helping women become her again? Who is her, and why did she even disappear?
She is, again, that's part of the remembering of who we all know, but we're chasing something to try to find ourselves outside of ourselves externally. And it's all in there. We're just not being quiet enough to listen. And so I like to ask the question, what are you chasing? And I remember reading something when I was at my lowest low, at my dark night of the soul. I remember reading a book called What's in the Way is the Way. And it just jumped out at me at the bookstore. I was looking for something else, and this jumped out at me, and I opened it up, and I have most of the book underlined, but I remember one of the stories of somebody having a reoccurring nightmare over and over again. She was telling the therapist, and she'd wake up just before the monster would get her. And she said, what if you would just not wake up and face the monster? What would happen? So she decided that's what she was going to do the next time she had the nightmare. So she did. So she turned around to confront the monster and started laughing, because the first thing she saw was purple fingernails. And she said, I've been scared of you my whole life. So what are we running from that we're afraid of in every area of our life? And what are we chasing? What are we going after? Is it the almighty dollar? What is most important? So drilling down to what is truly important. And when we drill it down far enough, the words that I start hearing are peace, are contentment, feeling fulfilled, love. Those are the things that people truly want. So how do we get that? By going inward and understanding who we truly are, and allowing, because we're doing all the do, how can we just simply be and become her instead of doing her? Because we've done that, the grind, that's the masculine energy. We need a balance of both. With the pendulum has swung too far, both ways, and it's coming together to a balance of we need both an understanding. We've even destroyed each other as male, female.
We have.
And so how can we understand what true feminine and masculine energy is to come together for the greater good of the world? That's the mission.
Yes.
So again, it starts with loving yourself. If you can't love yourself, you can't love. And that scripture says, love your neighbor as yourself. So how can we truly love ourselves? Like you said, we're beating ourselves up more.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't treat our best friend the way we treat ourselves.
Definitely not. And I love that you said that we need to come, because I've been saying this for a long time now, is that the pendulum has swung too far both ways. We need to bring it back to center. I think we need to stop with this masculine versus feminine bullshit, the warring going on between the sexes. And I think one way to do it is to drop the labels and let's just come together as human beings, because all the men in the world cannot accomplish what needs to be done, nor can all the women working together accomplish what needs to be done. We need to come together as humans. That, in my belief, that is the only possible way that it's going to get done, is if we stand shoulder to shoulder, lift each other up, support each other, celebrate each other, and work together. That is the only possible way that anything of consequence or of substance is going to get done in this world, is if we come together as humans. Never mind men and women and all this other bullshit. Let's just come together as human beings and work together. Let's love each other. Love is the highest vibration on the planet. We need that. Everybody needs that. And we all just want to be seen and heard. So let's come together. Love is all you need. John Lennon and Paul McCartney said it. That's it. Let's do this. Let's get together and raise the conscience, raise the vibration of the consciousness together.
Yes.
And make this planet a better place.
Absolutely. And that's why the Women's Collective is coming together, because the Napoleon Hill Institute has been around, or the Napoleon Hill has been around for generations, Think and Grow Rich. And it has a lot of masculine energy around it. Yeah. So that's what we're bringing. So it's more attractive to the balance of, we're the feminine energy and hear us roar. It's bringing a place of balance so that we can attract more women to change the world. And yes, that's 1 million women becoming millionaires. Really, my 29 years in my network marketing company, when I started 29 years ago, the founder, who is an eccentric Norwegian, loved his accent and his perspective on life. And his belief was to leave people better than you found them.
Yep.
That resonated with me back then. And that's why I said yes. And he said, if you can make women millionaires, they will change the world. And I said, yes, absolutely. Because there's too many women that again, keep giving themselves away instead of understanding the power that they do have. And how can we be empowered together? So the ripple effect of a network marketing business is one yes leads to another yes, that leads to another yes, of like-minded, like-hearted people coming together, that creates a ripple that affects generations yet not born. That's why the aggressive 1 million women millionaires, just the energy around that.
Yeah.
And truly visualizing what that can do in the world, and to raise the vibration of that. So anyway, it's the ripple effect of that. It's not me alone. I can't do it by myself, but it's the message and a movement. And so many people want to be part of a movement that is healthy and moving in a way that people can see and feel results. Take inspired action, which is in spirit.
Yeah.
Because we do have to take action, and there's a lot of action being taken, but it's not collective a lot of times. It's on the same energy frequency that is raising us to a whole new place that needs to happen. And I believe it's coming.
I do too.
It's a little rough right now.
Yeah.
We're going to get past this. So again, that's why I love, love, love what you're doing with this podcast.
Thank you.
Because it is helping women have voices to get out there and first of all, understand what their voice is, because they're remembering who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. So many women that I speak to don't think they have a story, or don't think anyone wants to hear what they have to say. And it's funny, I was speaking yesterday with a friend of mine about this exact type of thing. And I said, when women are in their purpose, when they are fully aligned and they are feeling amazing, they are feeling inspired, they are feeling good, that is what we need in this world. Because when that happens with women, because women are the nurturers of the families.
Yes.
Everybody, it starts with the nuclear unit at home. Everyone around them feels that happiness and gets inspired by that happiness. Then that ripples out to their friends, then to their community, then to the surrounding and to all the other, and eventually it ripples out to the world. We need to get to a place where women are appreciated for who they are and what they bring to the world. And that's how the world is going to change as well, is what, because when women are in that space, you can't lose. Everybody is happy. It ripples out to women's children, all, like, your kids are happier. It just is. We need to do this. And then we come together as human beings, the masculine and the feminine, and raise the vibration, raise the consciousness. That's how we're going to do it. It
Yes.
is hugely needed, and it is so important that we focus on this. And so that's what I love about part of your amazing, all the things that you're doing, but wanting to help 1 million women become millionaires.
Yeah.
And money is not the be all and end all. I want to be very clear about
Yeah.
that. It's not everything. But when we do have lots of money circulating, guess what? That helps other people. If you're putting money into other things and giving money to help other people, to help other causes, doing the work you're doing, all of these things, it benefits everybody. Money begets money.
Yeah.
This is what we do. We put it back into the economy. We put it back into small businesses. We put it back into helping others.
Yes.
It's a win-win all around. You can't lose.
Well, money, it's the wealth frequency. It's a
Yes.
frequency, and it's right up there with oxygen. We need it
Yeah.
to live.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's how we, again, our belief system around money. And
Yeah.
again, so that's another piece that we really embrace, is the wealth frequency and understanding the paradigms that we have, again, from our childhood, we've brought into why we are keeping it from flowing, the
Yeah.
abundance.
It has to continually flow.
Yes, we're holding on too tight, which is restricting rather than allowing it to. So there's a lot of, once people understand and let go and allow, that it's a surrendering. And one of the things that reminded me when you were talking is, we're not here to compete with each other. We're here to complete each other. And how do we, again, what's the energy behind that?
Yeah.
And I think that's the part of the big awakening, is people are starting to understand the energy, the flow, all of it is connected, but we're compartmentalizing everything, and we're holding on so tight that it's restricting, and it's hurting our health.
It is. But there's so many people out there that don't know this stuff. And this is why I love having conversations with women like yourself and having these conversations, because this is how we educate people.
Yeah.
Conversation, and I've said this for a long time, conversation is the catalyst for change. That is the only way that things are going to start to change, is if we start talking about them and bringing the awareness to those out there who don't know what's available. And that's through no fault of their own. That's through the conditioning and all the other shit. But if we continue to have these conversations, and you continue to do your work, I continue to do my work in an individual way, then we collectively come together like we are doing right now. And that's what we're here to do, is to raise the vibration of the collective, educate people, share things, share the knowledge. Don't gatekeep the knowledge, share it. You were given to it. You didn't, maybe you figured out some of it on your own. Maybe you learned from other people, but pass that knowledge along, because that's going to benefit someone else, which will benefit someone else. And it just ripples out. And that's what we need to do. That is the most important piece, is sharing and letting people know what's available to them to help them get to a higher level, because we are here to support each other. We are all one. We are here to lift each other up, to cheerlead each other. Let's do that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that message needs to get out there. So
it does.
Grateful for this platform.
Thank you, Linda. So many women over 50 feel invisible. So what is the first step in reclaiming visibility, power, and purpose at that stage of life?
Again, it goes back to remembering who you are and trusting when you hear something. Again, I ask women a lot, when something comes, an answer comes, I ask them what they just asked for. Ask and you shall receive.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when people are praying, something shows up, but they don't connect that showed up as a result of, so recognizing that, recognizing what thoughts become things. So what are you thinking about? What are you? And so when you're drawn to something, trust it. So I heard someone say that, another podcast I was listening to, the books that we're reading is part of remembering who we are, because it resonates. When something resonates, it's a remembering.
Okay.
So trust that and ask questions around that. Why does that resonate with me? Why does that sound so familiar? Because it's part of you. So I have to share this story because it just came. I had a vision. This was pretty soon after I was coming out of my dark night. I had a vision of myself being born. And what I saw was this beautiful royalty being born. And I saw my mom and dad standing there looking at this royalty and then looking at themselves and looking back and saying, what do we do with this? So if you can think of that, we're all born royalty, and our parents are just doing the best they know how to do in the moment of wherever they are at that time. And we're learning to merge into their world because they're showing us how to do it in their world. So understanding this, how do you reclaim your royalty? Because we were all born royalty, but we forgot.
It's the remembering.
So remember, who are you? And why am I here? Because I chose to be here.
Yeah.
So what is my purpose? I'm not done yet.
I love it. What are some of the silent battles that women over 50 are fighting that nobody talks about? And how do those battles shape their rebirth?
Unworthiness, not enough. Those are, I think, pretty universal. I'm just not enough. And again, it's the part of the chasing. If I just do this one more thing, then it'll be enough, and it's never enough. Or if I just please this person, and it's just not enough. And so again, then we start beating ourselves up thinking, there must be something wrong with me. I don't fit.
Yeah.
And so the spiral, they disappear. They just disappear. And a lot of it is personality. That I've learned a lot about my Enneagram, my human design, my all of that. And one of the things that I did in my business was ask the question of people who came in, tell me what lights you up. And they would just have to pause and think about it because I don't remember when I was last lit up. I've been working so hard. I've been in the grind. So take a minute and think about the last time that you found joy, and you would do it whether you got paid or not. Time just flies by because you're in that space. What is that? And how can we do more of that? Because that's who you are. That's you at your highest and best. So who is she? And how can you put her into what you're currently doing until? Because things are going to change because you've changed. It can't stay the same.
Yeah.
And that's when people start holding on to what appears to be what they're losing, but they're gaining. Again, it's a paradigm shift of that we're here to grow.
Yeah.
And when we start growing into the best version of ourselves, we may lose some people.
Yes, for
because
sure.
they're not willing to grow along with us.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. But then sometimes it takes people back to the familiar, as the fear of the border bullies, the dream stealers. There's a great book called The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson, where you leave the unfamiliar and go into you leave the familiar and go into the unfamiliar, and you have a pulling that wants to pull you back because people don't want you to change.
Yes.
And they're usually the ones closest to you.
Yep.
Are the biggest dream stealers, and we give in and we lose ourselves. So again, having our big focus, what is our purpose? What is our bigger vision for ourselves? Because we know that we know, not
yes, in the heart.
in the
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the shift that when I start seeing them shift that, they rise up in a way that's exciting. And again, it affects everybody around us.
For sure.
Because
It's beautiful to witness.
it is.
It is so exciting to see people step into who they're here to be and to celebrate people. That's another thing. We don't celebrate ourselves
Yes.
enough because we've been taught that it's not right to boast. It's not right to brag, but celebrating isn't bragging. Yeah. Celebrating is celebrating. And when you celebrate, that gives others a permission slip to also stand up and celebrate. So celebrate those small wins, the big wins, whatever it is. But it is incredible to witness people level up. And yeah, there are always going to be people that try and pull you back down, like the crabs in the bucket. They're going to try and pull you back down. They don't want you to leave. But some people just aren't meant to come on that journey with you, and that's okay. That's for them. Maybe that's part of it, is you leveling up is to show them that this is possible for them too. They may not be ready to do it yet. They may not be ready to come along for the ride with you, but that's okay. You are modeling something for them.
Yes.
And maybe they'll get there, maybe they won't. Whatever it is, that's their journey. That's not for you to worry about. You're here to level up for you and to become the best possible version of who you are, to be an example.
Yeah, and people work harder for praises than they do raises.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the recognition is huge. Yeah.
Linda, what does aging in power look like when a woman stops chasing youth and starts embodying wisdom?
The word embody, embodying that next decade. And again, it's the shift of the way you're going to walk into that with your unique beauty and greatness. And again, not comparing yourself. Social media, there's a lot of comparison out there, which causes, I think, women to not do what they know they need to be doing because they think somebody's already doing it. They're comparing themselves, and then they take themselves right out of the game. And so embracing, again, and it takes work. It's a self-discipline habit. So what are you doing to change the pathway of the habit that you've, because we go into automatic mode. And so again, even with our self-talk, what am I saying to myself? And how can I recognize it? Now that I recognize it, how can I edit it? What do I do? What do I want? Not what I don't want. And it has to be a conscious effort every single day to create a new pathway. And it has to be consistent. They say 21 days to form a new habit. It's actually 66 days that they've proven to create a new pathway that becomes automatic. You don't have to think about it anymore. When we drive to work, we don't even realize how we got there because it's so automatic.
Yeah.
So we have to have a conscious effort to take a new pathway for 66 consecutive days to create a new memory pathway. And that's rewiring the brain. That's the neuroplasticity, changing but that is self-discipline. That is habit. And Napoleon Hill talks about that. That's one of the first things we need to do is, what do we want to change? And then how do we create the habits around that to change it?
I love it. What is one belief system or internal narrative that absolutely has to be destroyed in order for women to rise?
That you're not enough. That self-destruction of being in our head. We can literally destroy ourselves. And the fears that get bigger and bigger that become monsters.
When a woman says to you, I don't know who I am anymore, where do you start with a woman like that?
I say, put your hand on your heart, because you do know. You just forgot. So I help guide them to get out of their head. Let's just drop into our heart and just remember who you are. And sometimes it happens quickly. Sometimes it takes a little bit, but we know who we are. We just forgot.
Powerful. If you had to distill the transformation you help create in women into one sentence, what would that sentence say? What would that sentence be?
Oh, goodness. So ask that question again.
Yeah, sure. If you had to distill the transformation you help women create in themselves into one sentence, what would that sentence be?
You are uniquely and beautifully made, and it's time. It's time to let your light shine. We can't dim it anymore. It's time. Step into your superpower, rise up, and embrace your power.
Beautifully said. What does it look like and feel like when a woman fully steps into her, unapologetically, wildly, divinely her?
Yeah. It's such a joy. It's just such joy. That's just being around that energy. We just experienced that in New York with pulling together the women's collective together. We did a photo shoot, and just the power and the energy, because we're all in the same frequency of the bigger purpose of where we're headed. And there's no competition. There's none of that brings anybody down or anybody feels left out, because we know where we're all going together, and we're all bringing our strengths because we understand we're all uniquely woven. There is no one alike.
Yeah.
We may be saying a lot of the same words, but people are going to hear it differently. It's going to fall on deaf ears until people are ready to hear it. That's why everybody, and I've worried about this too, is nobody's going to listen to me. Everybody has their audience that they're going to attract that resonates with them. And so anyway, like you said, we've got to put our voices out there, because we will be surprised how many people are experiencing the same thing that just need that, knowing somebody else is there with them, and we can do this together, and we can rise up together.
I think one of the first things is knowing, and I think this is very common among women, is that knowing that you have a voice and finding it, and knowing that you have a story worth sharing.
Yes.
In my opinion, it is our duty and our responsibility to share our stories with the world, because they will, I can guarantee you, I put my word on this, it will impact at least one person's life. I know it will, in my heart of hearts. So it is our duty to share that story. That story, you went through that for a reason. And part of that reason is to share it, to help benefit others.
Yes.
And you need to share it. You have a story. I promise you, every single person on this planet has a story. We just need to help the people tap into that story, know they have a story, and then find their voice to share it.
Yes. I remember being 10 years old, and my uncle, my mom's brother, sent a letter to my mom about each one of us 7 kids. And what he said about me was, Linda needs to reclaim her crown. And 10 years old, I didn't know what that meant.
Wow. No.
So 20 years later, I'm sitting on the floor, cutting out a pattern, watching, we just got married, my first year of marriage, watching the first annual Mrs. America pageant on TV and saying, I'm going to do that someday. 20 years later, I'm on stage doing the Mrs. Kansas pageant. Be careful what you put there. I completely forgot that I said that. And there I was on stage. And I remember I was first runner-up the first year and not knowing what I was doing. And my uncle was in the audience, and it all flashed back. It was like, oh my gosh. And this isn't it. I realized, how dare I let a judge tell me whether I'm good enough or not? This isn't it. Then I built a very successful network marketing business for 29 years, get to the pinnacle of success, and there's a holy discontent. This isn't it. Again, what am I chasing? And so then the Napoleon Hill Institute came, and my dad used to play Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, Dale Carnegie on the cassette tape in the back when we were young, and we'd roll our eyes and say, Dad, why do we have to listen to these old men? What he was doing was he was planting seeds.
Yeah.
And so when I basically was reintroduced to Napoleon Hill, I felt like I came home. It was a remembering.
You just can't make this shit up.
You can't. And then I go to Wise, Virginia, where they have the Napoleon Hill Foundation. My dad is all over. It's like walk in and my dad is downloading like crazy.
Yeah.
And the vision of him, his voice comes, he says, Linda, take them all to the top with you. That's what he said as he took his last breath. He was holding my hand as he was passed, said, Linda, take them all to the top with you. I thought it was my network marketing business at the time. And then I'm here and I hear his voice and I'm thinking, okay, this is it.
The coming home moment, the remembrance.
Coming home, the remembrance. And it was like goosebumps and all kinds. It's like you said, you can't make this stuff up, but it was, and the paradigm. Okay. So the paradigm, my dad lived in Sacramento. I'm flying in from Kansas to San Francisco to head to Hawaii for the Mrs. America pageant. He says, I'm going to meet you in San Francisco. I said, Dad, there's only a 5-minute layover. So that's a big risk. And he says, I'm coming. So he has me paged. He drives 2.5 hours to get to San Francisco, has me paged, Mrs. Kansas. And so we connect, thank goodness. Hands me an envelope. I get on the plane. I open up the envelope, and this is my dad's dry humor. There's 2 dimes to the paper. We are so proud of you. Paradigm shift. And I thought, you drove 2.5 hours to give me this. And everywhere I go, I find a paradigms.
That's amazing. I love that. Thank you for sharing that story. That is so amazing and beautiful. So let's continue on this path of Napoleon Hill. The work you do through your coaching and certification, how has Napoleon Hill's philosophy transformed the way you show up, not just in business, but in your soul work as a woman and as a coach?
The principles are timeless, and all of the greats, if you think about them, all of them have contributed their growth to the principles of Napoleon Hill. And so it's embracing these principles reminds me again of my truth. So it's part of the remembering, and it's soul filling, and it's even bigger than that, because the spiritual piece of it that opens up, that you're ready to receive because you now know who you are and truly love who you are. And that self-love is the journey to reclaiming your crown so that you can step in and be her and raise the consciousness of the world through that, because you understand. And so it's studying it. It's not just reading, it's studying. And I know Bob Proctor read Napoleon or Think and Grow Rich for 60 years, every single day for 60 years. And it was who he was. And so that's part of the, who are you becoming? What are you putting in that is resonating to grow into the best version of you? Because you know that's who you are. And it's it's in everything that you do in the world, because it's in there. And so that's what, but again, what are people listening to on the news? That gets into their subconscious mind, and that's what their belief system becomes. Which isn't truth, it's just noise. And so again, how can we change that thinking and not participate in what the economy is doing, but step in and own the space that you know to be truth for yourself? And so it's going to be good, bad, or indifferent. What seeds are you planting daily in the garden of your mind? And are you planting flowers or are you planting weeds?
Yes, absolutely. I love that. So I want you to talk a little bit more. You've touched on it very briefly. The Think and Grow Rich Women's Collective. Tell us what inspired its creation, how you got involved to be co-leading it, and how do we reframe wealth as a birthright for women, especially those that are in the 50 plus part of their lives?
There's a place for everyone at the table. Number one, she just needs to show up. And I showed up. That I believe it was divine timing. because it's still ground floor. I mean, the Institute has only been 2 years and in the making. And it's a powerful story of how that all came together. Cleona listening to her heart tug and taking inspired action. And the next thing led to the next thing and the next thing. So I would encourage you to take inspired action. When you feel a tug, don't ignore it. Step into it. And that's what I did. And I knew that I was home. And it was after the loss of my sister. My sister and I were going to do some great things together in her rewirement when cancer got her. And she assured me that she would download the things and so I've been on that. It's been 3 years now. And that journey of self-discovery and understanding the seeds that she planted in me and understanding that everything is in divine order, everything. People's time to leave is all part of the process and our growth. And so understanding this in a whole different light helps me now step into that higher version of myself and saying, okay, what do I want to accomplish before I leave this earth? And so that's what this mission is about, is there is a place for everyone to come, and everybody's going to grow differently. However, they need to grow in this safe community. And I think that's what we need, is to feel like we're part of something that's growing and safe at the same time, that we can't wait to show up and be a part of, and then launch into what's next. Take that inspired action, because that's how the world is going to change. That's how the 1 million women millionaires are going to ripple across the world for the change. And men, we're not discounting men.
But what is the Think and Grow Rich Women's Collective all about? Like, what is I know it's to give women a seat at the table. What types of things will you be doing in this collective? You're co-leading it. So tell us a little bit about it.
Well, empowering women in wealth frequency, in that arena. There's going to be different cohorts of different things. So it's a 6-week program.
Okay.
That a 6-week live. So every Saturday morning they will come to a live, and then the different coaches will have different cohorts depending on who they bring in. So each of them so whomever I bring in comes in through me, then I will be taking you through the steps. So we'll be having lives, also back office digital recordings that are already there.
Oh, nice.
Self-confidence camp is just powerful. That's life-changing in itself. So there's already a lot housed in the program that you can do on your own. And then those coming together live, so you feel like you're a part of a community.
That's focused solely on wealth consciousness for women and bringing more women into it to bring the awareness around wealth consciousness for women.
Yes.
Beautiful. I think that is absolutely phenomenal. And it's a step closer to creating that space for women, so that we create the happiness, we create the ripple effect out into the world to make the world a better place. Because that's what it's going to do.
Yeah.
When we bring the wealth consciousness to women, again, it raises the vibration, and it raises the vibration of the planet. It does good for everybody. Yes. I love it. I think it's absolutely amazing.
In every area of your life, because when people think of wealth, they a lot of times think of money.
Yeah.
But it's every area of your life. It's empowering who you are.
Yeah, for sure. What would you say to the woman listening right now who thinks it's too late to reinvent herself, build wealth, or create her legacy?
I would say, again, if you decide it is, so decide differently. You're not done yet. We need you. We need you to step up. Again, that's just a stinking thinking mindset. So again, dropping into the heart and understanding that we're not done yet. You know, you're here for a greater purpose, and my purpose isn't done yet. And that's what we are trying to help women understand, is just because society says certain things, it's not truth.
Yeah.
It is your truth. Come join us and be a part of the collective of rising up. How fun is that?
That's incredible. It's inspiring. I love it. Linda, why, getting back to the 1 million women millionaires, why that number? Why 1 million? And why now?
It sounds good.
It sounds like a lot.
It sounds, but again, it goes back to the ripple effect. It's not just one person doing it, it's many. And it's many bringing many to the table. And so again, it's the wealth consciousness of abundance. And yes, it's a big number, but again, that's the penthouse thinking instead of the basement thinking.
Yes.
So we have an incredible view at the top, and you can play on different floors. You can be at different floors, but the penthouse is pretty exciting place to be and a great view. So that's what we're collectively rising, helping women rise. If sometimes they don't recognize that they're in the basement.
Yeah.
And so helping them see things differently. And I believe it's done. I believe it's done.
1 million's a good place to start. That's a good starting number. If you could sit across from your 50-year-old self, what truth would you whisper into her soul?
Linda, use your voice. Stop being quiet. You have a quiet power and people will listen. So speak up.
Love it. If her, the fully awakened, empowered version of every woman, could speak directly into the ear of a 50-year-old woman doubting herself, what would she say?
Rise up, step into your power, rise up. It's time to rise.
Can you talk a little bit now about your program, Ageless Beauty in Mind, Body, and Soul? Tell us all the things, the inspiration behind creating it. Tell us all about it.
The inspiration is my journey and realizing that other women, when I do speak about it, that other women are saying it's resonating with them. And so I feel, again, I haven't felt like I have not put myself out there. And so putting myself out there, I believe is giving other women permission to do the same because I've been sitting quiet for too long. And so Ageless Beauty is who I am. I think I've embraced it at each decade. So people want what I have. Someone told me that even yesterday, Linda, I just want what you have. I said, okay. So it's just confirming that it's time. And so hanging my shingle in that space, what does Ageless Beauty look like for each person? And then what decade are you in and how can you embrace that? And just giving examples of how I embraced it. And it wasn't always easy. It's the ebb and flow. And we have to have the contrast in order to grow.
For sure.
And so being able to share my journey to hopefully give women hope and inspiration to step into their journey. And I would like to get my book written as well so that they have something tangible to take home and really read. But I'm really starting to begin to understand who I truly am in this world and the voice that I do have, even though it is a quiet power, it's powerful. And I just want other women who have felt invisible to feel this, to know there's a place for them there as well. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a loud gong. It's how are you speaking into your children? More is caught than taught. So what are you teaching them through how you are showing up for yourself every day at every stage of life? Even my adult children are watching me still.
Yeah.
How do you do this, Mom? And they've seen me at my darkest and it scared them. And now they see the contrast. Okay, she got herself out. We could do that too. So school's never out. We're always learning and growing. And
True.
And we have impact in the world, whether we realize it or not. We're impacting somebody.
Yeah. How long is the program, Linda?
The Ageless Beauty program. Yeah. That's just beginning alongside the collective.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to be doing some of that inside of that.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
And then it'll be branching out into I'm going to let it evolve into what it needs to evolve into. So I'm excited to see where it takes us. Beautiful. But I have a lot of training in pageant world, modeling world, not that's, but how do we show? I was teaching women in New York how to not walk the streets, but
Walk the catwalk, we'll
walk the
say.
catwalk and
Yeah.
step into their power. Just putting heels on, what does that do for you? Just
Yeah.
putting lipstick on, what does that do for you? Again, it's giving people permission, because one of the gals never wore heels, never wore lipstick, but all of a sudden she stood. So that's the transformation that I love seeing.
Yeah.
It's just helping a little piece, helping them give themselves permission to do that.
That is one of the most incredible things to witness, is the transformation. As a photographer and as a boudoir photographer, seeing women come into the studio and then go through the photo shoot, go through that experience, and to see them leave the studio a completely different woman, that is one of the most powerful and incredible things to witness, and gifts to give to another human being. And for me, being on the other side of the lens, it just sets my soul on fire to see that, because you can see the shift in the woman's energy. She's standing taller, she's standing prouder, she just leaves a completely different person, confident, feeling beautiful. That is one of the most incredible things to witness.
Yes.
And to be able to give that to someone, there's not enough words to describe the power and in that.
And as a photographer, you capture their soul.
Yes.
And that's what shines bright through. It's amazing. I agree. I worked with a lot of photographers along the years with styling, and it's transformational. So that's what I love. And that's, again, I've realized I can pull it all together in a package where people can embrace the pieces that they want. How do you show up for yourself with makeup, with hair, getting ready for a photo shoot, all of that. Yeah. So
it's incredible. Yeah. What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful, Linda?
I've always been an encourager, looking at the glass full instead of empty, and helping people. I'm a peacemaker in the Enneagram. I'm a 9. And so I see both sides. Sometimes that can not be so good but the gift in it is that I'm a good listener and I can hear both sides. And that's one of the biggest messages that we are teaching in the Napoleon Hill, is around judgment and how we're really judging ourselves when we're judging others. And so when you're pointing a finger at somebody, 3 are pointing back at you.
Yeah.
And so taking a look at ourselves and what we need to heal or fix before we are accusing. So it goes along with that. But I feel like that's been my superpower, is to bring that balance so that they listen instead of fight.
Yeah. And so speaking of success, what does that word mean to you? How do you define success?
Fulfillment, feeling fulfilled, and the joy in that. Yeah.
What does the word empowerment mean to you?
I think of Wonder Woman standing in your power.
Yeah.
Reflecting all the negative of it and just standing in your superpower. Just be her.
Okay. We're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3 word answer type thing.
Okay.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
Love.
What is your favorite self-care practice?
Reading. I love to read.
If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Kindness.
What is one thing you want but cannot buy with money?
Joy.
If you could be remembered for one thing, what would that one thing be?
That she made an impact.
What is one thing you love about yourself that is not related to your physical appearance?
I would say encouragement.
Okay. What's one word that describes the woman you are becoming?
Oh, sassy.
I love it. That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I created a bonus question that I did not send you ahead of time. If you could take one feeling or one belief, bottle it up and give it to people, what would it be?
Oh my goodness. One feeling, just pure joy.
Okay. Linda, if you were to introduce yourself to me without mentioning your occupation, where you're from, your ethnicity, your religion, all of these superficial markers that we use on a day-to-day basis, how would you do that?
I would say Brad, meet Joy.
Beautifully said. I love that. If you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
What's next?
Okay. What's next?
I love that it's evolving and that I'm receiving. I'm open to receive what's evolving, and just that reinforcement of I'm not done yet. So much to do. Yeah.
If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene. I would love to know her relationship with Jesus, who she really was. She was behind the scenes so much that I would love to know her.
Okay. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Stop being afraid and just own who you are.
Beautiful.
There's nothing broken.
Yeah. Lastly, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your corner of the world, your tribe, your people, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
Be aware of what you're planting in the garden of your mind. You're either planting flowers or you're planting weeds. You get to choose every day, good, bad, or indifferent. It's your choice.
Beautiful. Linda, thank you so much for being here with me today. It has been an absolute pleasure having the opportunity to sit down and speak with you. It has been a blast. I've had so much fun. Thank you for sharing your beautiful light, your story, your journey. I am honored to call you a friend and to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. Thank you for the work you're doing, and thank you for making and taking the time to be here with me today. I appreciate you.
Thank you for inviting me to come. And if anybody's interested in the Women's Collective, you can go to lindaloveless.com/Women's Collective.
And yeah, we'll put all the links in the show notes for all of that stuff so that people can, I would love, again, this would be such a huge benefit to the world and to women. So all the links will be I'll put all the links for Linda's stuff, her programs, everything into the show notes.
Perfect. Thank you, Brad.
Once again, my pleasure. Once again, my name is Brad Welsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Linda Loveless. She is a certified global Napoleon Hill Institute coach who is co-leading the Think and Grow Rich Women's Collective for the Napoleon Hill Institute. She's also the creator of the signature program, Ageless Beauty, Mind, Body, and Spirit, which is a transformational experience helping women who are 50 plus become her again and reclaim their crown and rediscover the women they were always meant to be. Linda, thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast, and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.